But I think the building one, that's a really, I think that your proposal is that buildings should be in a trust between the parish and the diocese, and that buildings, the parish right now, currently, I think parishes own the buildings and they can use that as leverage. And we've touched on how because they own the rights to the building, they can leave at any point. But you know, for anyone who was in the Episcopal Church, there's some deep there was some deep pain there with
Yeah.
how the Episcopal Church, you know, took advantage of that trust in many ways and made people's lives miserable. I think rather than talking about the trust itself in your proposal, I think the deeper issue that I wanted to hit on is how much longer time do people need to kind of heal from the crazy circumstances of what happened at the beginning of the 2000s, end of the 90s. How much time do we give people to kind of heal from that? And we go like, okay, that happened, but this is our history. This is our ecclesiology. These are our principles. Like we can't build our governance based on maybe the trauma of this emergency situation. Because I think that's the question, but under your piece or the bigger issue, like they built the plane as they were flying it. When is the plane going to land and we go to the factory and rebuild it? I think that's the big question. And I think that's where the disagreement is like, no, that was still really recent. And I
Yeah.
wasn't there. I was, I'm a Zoomer. So I think that's the interesting thing as a young guy coming in. I'm like, I don't know. That's, you guys have to figure this out. I don't know how much time you need for the dust to settle.
Well, two things. Generally, like I was not around for that. I was not an Episcopalian. I've never been part of the Episcopal Church. I'm 42. So, I want to recognize that. The other thing is, the thing I put in there was a sketch, and you get the principle. It's like we want to find a workable way that you're not just kind of ready to leave at any point and opt out of the diocese, but we also don't want the opposite. So I don't know, and lawyers and other people need to kind of talk about what mechanisms might be possible. To your broader point, I suspect that the first generation of leaders are always going to have that kind of trauma. But it's more like, what's the second and third generation of leaders who can get some distance on it? And that traumatic experience is sort of secondhand to them, I think. And that's just going to take time. I think it's just going to take time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. People like you, are not, you're able to ask some questions that are just off limits around this area because of how it was before. So I don't know.
Yeah. I think that's one of the big questions that is a deeper question in terms of moving forward. So I want to kind of, you explicitly say that, you're not giving a blueprint. You say further work must be done to prescribe in detail. Fair enough, but a skeptic will tell you that's the exact sentence where every reform quietly dies, like, here's my dream. But I want to set the details aside. What does this vision commit you to in principle? Like, what has this done for you to kind of explicitly imagine a future governance structure for the ACNA? Like, what has that done for you? What action steps have you taken? What does it commit to you in principle? I'm curious.